welcome to my last live podcast for this week. I'm finishing the Journey movies for now. I'm doing the sequel from 2012, Journey to the Mysterious Island, with The Rock and of course Josh Hutcherson comes back, and those are the killer bees. Well, they're not killer bees, but they're giant bees, and not Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Let's get started. This movie's about 94 minutes, so it's 2 minutes longer than the original. So here we go. I like this one a lot more than the first one. I'm doing this early because I got to throw the garbage out later. So be it. It's a fun movie. I saw this one in the theater a few years back. This one was 4 years later. Brendan Fraser wasn't a box office draw anymore by that time, so he kind of disappeared for a while and then came back and won an Oscar, so good for him. That's Michael Caine's voice, by the way. Retired actor Michael Caine, because he's old now. There it is, Journey to the Mysterious Island. This one was not in it was in 3D, but it was not throwing things in your face like the first one, because it was many years later. So, and Josh Hutcherson is not a kid in this one. He's older now. His voice is matured. I don't watch movies for pretentiousness. I watch them to be entertained. You guys know that. Beware of Dogs. This one has a different opening. He's the only character to come back from the first one, because in the first one, it was mainly three actors in it. It was Brendan Fraser, him, and Anita Brim, but she didn't come back, and I didn't need her in this one. She was doing Dylan Dog, so she didn't come back. So we got Vanessa Hudgens, who was way better in this one. She's youthful and beautiful and has no accent, so that's a huge plus over the first one. The Rock started being bald in movies, I think, around like 2011, when he did Fast Five. Every movie he's done since then, he's had no hair. Because before that, the Game Plan, and was it the Race to Witch Mountain? He still had hair. But The Rock, you don't need to be in everything. Yeah, because what's the difference? This is when he was doing the Hunger Games, Josh, because he was a lot older here. There's Kristen Davis. In my opinion, the most gorgeous woman on that show. She's probably the friendliest woman in Sex and the City, because Kim Cattrall is not very friendly. Cynthia Nixon is gay, and Sarah Jessica Parker I do like, but I think that Kristen Davis is the most beautiful and the most underrated of the four women. I would love to meet her at Comic-Con and say, you're beautiful. Shirtless scene. Kristen Davis is not in this movie that much. She's basically in two scenes, like the female character from the first film. The Icelandic trip leads to amazing geology discovery. See, there are references to the first film, but this movie has its own identity. That's what a sequel should do. It shouldn't be the first one or the second movie. It should have its own plot. Private property. 5 minutes in so far. Hmm. See, there's the Rock smile. I missed that. A lot of his movies now, he's trying to be serious and everything. I'm like, you could smile once in a while, and actually happy to be there. Journey 3 is supposed to happen. They're gonna go to the moon. Avernian. And also, The Rock. This was the second movie he did in the jungle, because the first one was the Rundown. But for whatever reason, in the sequel, every movie he's done has been in the jungle. You had the Jumanji sequels and Jungle Cruise. And I'm like, I'm over it, guys. You don't need to put The Rock in the jungle anymore. It's been done to death. Because at least in Moana, they're not in the jungle. They're on an island, so it's someplace different, and it's animated. So again, and also the cast is a little bit bigger in this one compared to the first one, because you got Michael Caine, Vanessa Hudgens, Louis Guzman, and The Rock. So there's at least 5 characters in this movie, and the island people, before they get to the island. So there's at least more people in this one, because again, this is the 2010s. Gulliver's Travels, yeah. Yeah, books are like they're the key of knowledge, guys. If you read more, you get smarter. That's what I have to do more when I'm in my birthday next year, because I haven't read a lot. I haven't been reading a lot of comics or novels lately, so I want to get smarter. I'm not going to college anytime soon. I'm going back to college, so I got to do something, get some more knowledge. I want to stimulate my mind. I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna be doing a podcast for a couple days because I'm getting surgery. It's nothing too serious, guys. It's just that they're extracting my tooth. They're taking a wisdom tooth out. That's it all. It's not heart surgery. I'll be fine. I'll live. I promise. I just wanted to let you guys know that, so that if you don't see me on Facebook or YouTube or a live stream, you know where I am. You know what's happening. The Rock still has one of the best. He still has one of the best smiles. In the South Pacific. This one has more of a comedic charm than the first movie did. Yes, there's a paycheck movie for Michael Caine, but Michael Caine is old, guys. He was old when I was a kid. When I saw him in the Muppets to Christmas Carol, he was like what, in his 50s or 60s at that time. Yeah, he's not a kid. He's not a. He was young back in like the 70s or the 80s. Nope, Josh Hutcherson is a grown man now, and he's a good actor. I liked him in Beekeeper, and say what you will about Five Nights at Freddy's, he's not the problem. He's not. Maybe it's dumb, but it's not. He's not the problem. Or Elizabeth Lau. Mm. She's so beautiful, man. She has dark hair and a cute voice. She's a way older than The Rock. She's gonna be 60 next year. She's a beautiful woman. I've always thought that, even when I was a kid. Yes, well, I was a teen when Sex of the City came out. It aired on HBO. I was 13. I was too young to see it back then because, it was a show for adults. We know. I saw the first one yesterday. Yeah, they're. I think it's American Samoa. That's what The Rock is. He's American Samoan and Canadian and black. Because that's why the bloodline is so big in WWE because it's a dynasty. It's not just a bunch of wrestlers. There's Louis Guzman. He's Puerto Rican. You could tell the way he talked. He's a good actor. He was good in that cameo he had in Bad Boys 4. Yeah, I know because I have a big family in the Caribbean. When I first saw him, I was like, yeah, he's a bit too much, but he's grown on me over the years. Yep, they have to fly. You saw chickens. Kalani, yeah. They're both in Bad Boys, actually. Yeah, the girl from High School Musical. Oh, that gorgeous hair. And she just had a baby, Vanessa Hudgens. It's a beautiful girl. Yes, I know, Josh, I know. See, this movie's very diverse, but it's not forced. See, she's a little feisty. Because at least here, they don't force it down your throat, you know? Yes, there's more CGI in this one than the first one, but this was made after Avatar, and everything after Avatar was very digital. It's gonna be all right. Yeah, they were both in Bad Boys 4. He had a cameo, and she was a supporting role, and she's good in those Bad Boys sequels. She's not a distraction. Would I travel in the helicopter? Maybe once, but I want to be safe. And after seeing Sucker Punch, I needed to see something that Vanessa Hudgens did that was lighter and she doesn't die in it. Because that movie disappointed me more than any movie in the theater in the past 3 decades. Because I'm like, why would you put Vanessa Hudgens and Jamie Chung and then they're the second, they die right after Jenna Malone, and I was so pissed off. I'm like, why would you do that, Zack Snyder? And you wrote the movie, so that's your fault. I can't blame him for Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2. The source material wasn't much to write home about anyway, so it's just a discount version of Dune and Star Wars. What did you expect, people? Were you expecting Star Wars? No. But I'd rather see those Rebel Moon movies over the sequel trilogy any day. They're shorter. Look, tornadoes. Again, eat it, Twisters. This is how you make a movie with Twisters work. Oh, it's a hurricane, but it's got some tornadoes in there. There's some Twisters there. Yeah, again, there. This is why you don't fly in a hurricane, a tidal wave, or a tornado, because it's dangerous. Yeah, these things happen every year. Florida, the Caribbean, and the South get hit with hurricanes almost every year. Yeah, badly too. They cost thousands to millions of dollars in damages. There's no blood because again, this is a PG movie. They don't want the glass to shatter and then cut Vanessa Hudgens. Yeah, there's this moment of silence. But unlike Avatar, this movie's not 2.5 hours or 3 hours. That was a cool shot. They show a close up of his eye. That was cool. And again, did I mention this is better than Avatar? Both of them. The first one and Way of Water, because it's short. You don't need a movie to be 3 hours to get your point across, James Cameron. Terminator was not 2.5 hours, the first one. At least he's trying. Hey, at least it's Louise Guzman and not. At least he's got some talent. I'll give him the. Hey, heterosexual man said you saw this movie in the theater. What did you think of the short that played before? They called Daffy's Rhapsody. I don't think they should. It wasn't. They didn't show that short because I saw it in the theater a few years after it came out. When they re-released it for the summer Regal, and I went to go see it. So it wasn't when it came out in 2012 because I couldn't afford it. I had to go to a funeral a few months after it came out. So, and the Avengers came out. You know, I wasn't gonna miss that. At least Guzman is not annoying in the movie compared to other characters I've seen, like that Puerto Rican guy from Transformers. That guy annoyed me. I'm sorry. It was just like pandering, and I'm like, we get it, we get it. You're Hispanic. You don't have to shove it in my face. You can be subtle about it. You don't have to rub it in my face. Daffy's Rhapsody. I don't even know if I've seen that short, but I could find it. It's on the internet somewhere. There's a centipede, yeah, because the first movie had the killer plants. No giant spider, surprisingly. I guess because Jules Verne didn't put a giant spider in because Mysterious Island, Journey to the Earth, From the Earth to the Moon. Hold on. I'll write this movie down. Oh, there is a spider in this movie. I forgot. Mysterious Island. And even the Jumanji sequels, I think, are too long. They could have cut like 10 minutes of the movie. Yeah, this looks like Pandora. But I like the visuals in this movie. Not Oscar worthy like the Avengers, but it's pretty. This is the baby elephant. It's so cute. Yes, it's CG, but again, it looks cute. Still looks better than the Lion King remake. Baby elephant. I love elephants. I would never harm them or take their tusks. I respect nature, unlike some people. I don't. I don't cut down trees that are not supposed to. I don't dig into the ground. I don't pollute the water or the air. I don't do that because I respect Mother Nature, guys. I never desecrate it. 'Cause and she's cute. She's always been cute because she's petite. Vanessa Hudgens is not a tall girl. She's actually like shorter than I am. But I saw her at the Oscars pregnant last year. I'm like, you are so hot. Yeah, I think it was last year or this year. Yeah, she was wearing a black dress and she had that big belly. I'm like, that is so attractive. I don't know why some people say they look fat. No, they look great. Procreation, I'm all for that. Yeah, there is a spider here, but there's also a the flying bees. It's fun. This movie's a lot of fun. With this, I just wanted a better movie than the first one, and it's way better than the first one. Yeah, they're standing on eggs. Yeah, I don't mess with the sun either. Yeah, no, The Rock is a American Samoan. His family is mostly tan. Uh-oh. Those are not those are it's not a rock. It's like in the scene in Godzilla. Remember the remake of Godzilla that the eggs are, all over the place because they're lizards. Practical effects, by the way, the eggs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Look at that lizard. Mm-hmm. It's a nod to the Indiana Jones. Well, lizards are faster than snakes. 'Cause also, they're fast because they have legs. They don't. The snakes don't have legs. It's a giant iguana. Yeah, they can lay up to 12 eggs at a time. So they procreate a lot faster than humans. It's a fun sequel. This was entertaining and it wasn't boring because by the time you got to the last scene in Avatar, I was already checked out. When it got to that mech suit, I was like, yeah, just end this, please. And I haven't seen Avatar in almost 15 years. Yeah, because he. Yep, he falls through. Good practical effects for 2012. Because this movie was supposed to come out in 2011, but it got pushed. There's the lizard. And did I mention also that this movie is better than the Jurassic World movies? Because it's not 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 5 minutes or something like that. And the characters are not as dumb. Just saying, guys, I know what I like. I don't mind mindless entertainment, but have characters I like. Because I like Josh in the first movie, so following him in the sequel is fun. Plus, this is a PG movie, so it doesn't have a PG-13 script like Jumanji or Jungle Cruise or whatever. That does make sense. Godzilla was an iguana in Godzilla in the remake. It looks like an iguana or a frilled lizard or something like that. That's awesome. Yeah, slow mo shot. Again, if James Cameron he says that Marvel movies and all these other movies are junk because they're theme park rides, you're damn right. I want it to be a theme park ride. I want to go in and out. I don't want to sit there and wait for something to happen. Movies don't have to be too long, guys. Endgame is long, but I was invested. By the time we got to the final battle, I was like so pumped, and I couldn't hold back my excitement. I think this is an iguana, or it could be a frilled lizard, something like that. Yeah, all lizards are cold blooded. He's gonna punch it. He's gonna do the Krampus thought again. Remember, it didn't work in Red One, Rock. No, it's a frilled lizard. It's not an iguana. So my bad, because it has the flaps. Because a frilled lizard has a snake, the flaps, just like the Dilophosaurus. Here comes a grandfather, stealing a scene from Predator, where Arnold sets the trap for the Predator. Wait, speaking of Marvel, I just found out Black Panther 3 is officially the worst. I know, but it's not going to be as good as the first one. There's Oscar winner Michael Caine, man. One of the most delightful British actors ever. Yeah, we miss you, Michael Caine. We miss you not being on cinema. He's still one of the best Ebenezer Scrooges I've ever seen because his performance is fantastic. Caine was just, a delightful actor. He's a legend. He said no to Christopher Nolan because Oppenheimer was just too long of a film for him to be in. It would have killed him. That's why Michael Caine was barely in Interstellar, because he was old in that. Because Black Panther 3, I'm not doing it. It's just that Shuri can't carry a movie by herself. It took 2 hours for her to be in the movie as the Black Panther. I'm like, that's too long, guys. You can't wait more than an hour to introduce your superhero. This is a fun movie. It's a lot more fun than the first one. Even when I first saw it on, I think it was on cable or something, before streaming, and I was like, oh, it's good. I like it. It's not Oscar worthy. I know that. This isn't Shawshank Redemption or Titanic. It's Journey 2. And they managed to put a successful sequel without the original actor Brendan Fraser, because again, he took a break in 2012. He has a treehouse. Like he lives like the Ewoks do. Or the Croods. Remember the sequel to the Croods? At least Caine is acting in this movie, unlike in Jaws: The Revenge. A coffee maker. Oh, smoothie. I thought it was coffee. And of course he has a British flag because that's what Michael Caine is, but at least he retired. Yeah, if this was done today, you could go on social media and say, hey, I'm stuck on an island, help me. And they could track you down. Plus, people get to have trackers now compared to 2012. Ooh, what a burn. See, the Rock has some wit in this movie. He's best when he's witty. The Rock could be serious. Snitch was a dramatic role that worked. Yeah, it's like Sean Connery when he calls his son Junior and not, Indy. He doesn't call him Indiana until the end, and it's a really powerful moment. We don't know. Michael King could be gone next year. We don't know. We'll see what happens. I hope he makes it to 100 at least, but because Dick Van Dyke is 99 now, so we'll see. This has been a horrible year for celebrity deaths. Every leap year is usually a horrible year for celebrity deaths. We had Heath Ledger in 2008. We had Carrie Fisher in 2016. We had Chadwick Boseman in 2020, and we had a truckload of deaths this year. And some of them just came out of nowhere. And I miss them a lot. Like James Earl Jones and Bob Newhart and Shelley Duvall and Tony Todd. People that we grew up with. People think actors are just actors and they're nothing else. No. I met some of them at Comic-Con this year, and it meant something to me. I'm meeting people that were a part of either my childhood, teen years, or just my adulthood. Yeah, McSplicklick. Yeah, Mr. McSplicklick. I know, Rock. You don't have to tell me. It took me years. Yeah, they do. I am sensitive. And I'm sweet. Yeah, the pecs. Yeah. And The Rock didn't do this in Jumanji. Got to do this. I can't do that. That's one. Yeah, that's from that was a 3D gimmick in the movie. Yeah, that's one of the only 3D things in the movie where it hit the screen, but it's not as much as the first one. The first one, a lot of the scenes were shot in 3D. Yeah, those are the 3D gimmicks in the movie. See the things flying at the screen. Yeah. At least this movie has good actors in it because in Jumanji, I couldn't stand the tour guide and Kevin Hart because he just screams everything. And in the third movie, I don't know what he was doing. He sounds what in the Sam Hill. I'm like, that's not Danny Glover. It sounds ridiculous. That's an awesome scene. Yeah, it's like the Atlantis in um the Aquaman movie. That is a nice visual. See, this movie, at least I want to live in a world like this. In Avatar, I don't want to live with a bunch of flying dragons and dinosaurs and horses with holes in their no, their neck, and with dogs that look like that don't even look like puppies. You know, they look like lizards, and blue cat people. No, that would not be paradise for me. Hold on. Next week at Wednesday is Christmas, so I won't be doing a podcast that day either. But next now New Year's Day I probably will, but I'm choosing the movie to start off 2025. I mean, obviously I'm gonna do a video on New Year's Eve like I do every year, guys. So stay tuned for that after my surgery. I think we found a because Transformers the movies are too long. Every movie except for Bumblebee and Transformers 1 are way too long. You could cut a lot of this stuff out. Especially Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, and The Last Night. They could have been 20 or 30 minutes shorter. It's not mandating. It's making the movie shorter, you know, so that you can live through it. It is. It's a real set too. I like seeing real sets, not just everything is green screen, everything is digital, everything is not really there. It takes me out of the movie. It does, especially when it's not like a fantasy world or something. If it's supposed to be realistic, why are there people looking at blue cats flying? Or, you know, Krypton, it looks like it looks like Pandora, and I'm like, that's not what I wanted. Krypton should look crystal, have giant crystals and towers and white. Not, oh look, there's a giant dragon there. No, that's stupid. There's no dragons on Krypton. That's because when I saw the Krypton in Man of Steel, I'm like, this looks terrible. It looks like every other sci-fi movie that came out around that time. Samples. See, The Rock is not dumb in this movie. He's just as smart as Brendan Fraser was in the first film. Yeah, they find the Nautilus, which is from another Jules Verne story. That was in Mysterious Island. Uh, the movie from the 1960s. Mm-hmm. Well, Captain Nemo's not in this movie. They couldn't afford it. And it does look like the Phantom Menace or Aquaman, even though this is before Aquaman. It's an adventure, and I like adventure movies. I used to watch them when I was a kid. I used to watch The Jungle Book, the animated version and the 1994 version. It's a little long, but you know, that's why I really enjoyed Aquaman because it was an adventure, action, sci-fi spectacle with a lot of good comedy and it has some heart to it. People say Jason Momoa can't act, but that scene where he hugs his mom after not seeing her for years, that made me feel something because I love my mom. I have a big connection with her. Yeah, again, still not a girl boss though, because she's vulnerable. I guess the reason why movies today need to have so much CGI is because Hollywood thought it would make movies look like a spectacle. No, if it looks bad or if it takes me out of the movie, it's not a spectacle anymore. It should look good and feel like it's part of the plot. Look at Guardians of the Galaxy, guys. A lot of CG, but I care about it. Looks fantastic. Look at Star Trek 2009. Yeah, the lens flares suck, but the CGI didn't bother me in that movie mostly. Uh, the Matrix from the 90s, CG, but it still looks good to this day. Or even Deadpool and Wolverine. There's a lot of CG, but I care about the characters, so when they're fighting other Deadpools and these other people, it works because they're really in a location. That desert scene was really in a desert. It wasn't a CGI desert. You could mix both and make it look good. If you're gonna use CG, don't overuse it. X-Men Apocalypse, too much CGI. Way too much. I remember First Class, and there's some bad CG in it, but it's not in every scene. Where it's just people talking, you don't need CGI for that. Sorry, guys. Sorry. A bug! It looks like the centipede from Attack of the Clones. Remember that? Those poisonous centipedes? Run, girl, run. See, she's not Supergirl. She has vulnerability. Hello. They're holding each other. Hey, you're not Zac Efron. Because you can't tell me a movie like The Crow and Borderlands looks like a spectacle. I'm like, it doesn't, guys, because it looks video gamey. And when they use CGI blood, I'm like, it's not really there. You can get blood squibs. It's fake blood that you could buy that at Party City. You don't need a big budget for that, guys. I know you could mostly get them during the Halloween, but I am. I'm up for an adventure next year in 2025. I want to go out more. I know it's freezing out, but it is what it is. We're 46 minutes in, so we're almost halfway through the movie. Because the Jumanji movies, the sequels could have been 10 minutes shorter. In Welcome to the Jungle, you could have cut that stupid dance scene. I don't like it because it looks Karen. She doesn't. It's not that she's not sexy. It's just that it's a stupid diversion. That's like the music in the background is dumb. They play it twice in the second movie and in the third movie, and I'm like, it's not necessary. Was there a stupid dance in the first Jumanji? No. It took me out of the movie. I'm like, oh, Karen has to seduce these guys and laugh, and I'm like, that scene was just ripping off the scene from Guardians of the Galaxy. Much better scene. It was funnier and it was shorter. This one I was like, oh my god, just end, please. Not everything in the movie is going to be great. I mean, there wasn't a dance scene in Batman. I mean, not in Red One, not Batman. So Giant Ants. That's from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. A spectacle doesn't have to look all digital. They could have real locations, real costumes, real people. Gabby. Because if Vanessa Hudgens did a dance scene in this movie, it would take me out of the movie because this is not a dance flick. She danced in the HSM films and a little bit in Band Slam. Mm-hmm. Let me eat an apple. Where's my apple? Mm. Mm-hmm. We know. We know. I miss my grandfathers. I miss them both. They both saw me grow up. There's the bees. 50 minutes into the movie. They look cute too. They're not threatening bees. Like in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, that bee was terrifying. And that was not CGI, by the way. In I do like the score here too. Mm-hmm. My gums are bleeding. Hold on. This is a fun scene, guys. I'm bleeding a little bit. Ugh. Oh yeah, there's a giant bird. Yep, birds eat bugs. It's the Mockingjay. That's a cool shot. They show a slow-mo how colorful that bird looks, and it looks pretty good. Like I said, the CGI is not Oscar worthy, but they do a slow-mo of that. If they did a slow-mo of the asylum birds, yeah, they would look terrible. Or like Birdemic, yeah. I cut my lip eating that stupid apple. I'm not eating an apple for a month after this. I'm going to eat applesauce, bananas, oranges, or anything else. I mean it. I'm not eating another apple until uh, January at least. Slow mo. There's a lot of slow mo in the movie, but it's not. This isn't a Zack Snyder movie where it makes the movie twice as long because it can't. That bird is cool looking. If I do the Jumanji sequels, I'll do them next year. I'm gonna have money next year, so I'll get 2 and 3. The first one's always gonna be my favorite, though. There's the feathers. It looks like the Mockingjay. If the Mockingjay was pretty colors. Remember the first movie had the Twitter bird. That scene was a little bit homoerotic, but again, yep, here comes a slow-mo shot from Spider-Man No Way Home. Again, that is a good shot. When a girl's falling in slow-mo, usually it's pretty epic. I mean, that's one of the few good shots in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know, when Emma Stone is falling. Oh, that was a nasty hit. The cool slow-mo shot. Brad Payton actually is probably a fan of Zack Snyder because he does slow-mo in other movies too. I think he did it in Rampage and in that bird is cool. Because the first one had the cute Twitter bird, which was not a threat. This one wants to eat the bees. It's a fun movie. It reminds me of Who Framed Roger, not Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Except there's no scorpion here, or there's ants, but they're in the background. They're not a main character. Yep. Yep. There's a spider in the movie, but there's a spider in the background. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, he breaks his neck. See, he's not a superhero. Of course, it's dangerous. The jungles are dangerous at night because there's no street lights. It's not like New York City where I can literally go outside at 3 o'clock in the morning in this area and there's lights everywhere, so I'll be safe. I saw fireflies, but in the jungle or in the forest where there's no lights, yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. Yeah, see, what a great actor he was. Yeah, I forgot what was Michael Caine's last film, but it wasn't this one. No, I don't want to dislocate any of my body parts. I want to keep them on me, or dislocate anything in my mouth. They're taking the tooth out. That's it. Ukulele. The Rock sings in this scene. He sounds like Maui in this scene. When what can I say except you're welcome. And at least the scene is short. It doesn't go on for 5 or 10 minutes. You don't have to know about pacing. The Rock has a decent voice. It's not Broadway style like Ariana Grande, but he's got a decent. What a wonderful world. I don't want to sing too much. I don't want to get a copyright infringement. Older than Yoda. Yeah, he changed the lyrics a little bit. And then, kind of thinking, what the heck were we drinking? The song is so funny. I hope The Rock goes to Comic-Con next year. See, this is what happens when he does a movie that his ego doesn't get in the way. We're an hour in, 61 minutes. Yeah. And while The Rock is not a musician, he did sing in WWE in 2003 with a guitar. It's 11:38, so the movie will be over around 12-ish. Then I have to throw the garbage out before it rains because I don't want to get wet. Sean, yeah, that's his name in the first movie. It's a man, not a kid anymore. Yeah, Vanessa Hudgens, she's cute in the movie, and she's human. She doesn't act like a snob for the whole movie. And she's not a girl boss like the new girl in Lord of the Rings, where, yeah, guess what, Josh? Your main character is a redhead who's not Karen Gillian, by the way. That would have been much better, a better casting choice. And she's good at everything. That's not interesting to me. Captain Marvel gets a lot of flack for having a girl boss character, but Brie Larson can act, guys. And she does have vulnerable scenes where she's bleeding from the nose. What? That's not enough vulnerability? You want her to lose an arm? She has some vulnerability. I mean, she does get captured like what, twice in Captain Marvel in the first one. She's not, indestructible. Yeah, he was, and nobody dies in this movie, which is good. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna be in no condition to do anything tomorrow when I get home from when I get my surgery. So, but I'm glad I'm doing some podcasts to keep my channel alive. That's how you get subscribers. Also, she's not a damsel in distress. Exactly. She has some moments where she needs to be saved, but it's not every 2 minutes. In Jupiter Ascending, every 5 minutes, Mila Kunis has to be saved. It gets old fast, man. And that's a weak character. You have to have a balance between being bad ace and being, vulnerable. We're 65 minutes in it. So, and if, celebrities never say something stupid. They always do, guys. Even in the talk shows and interviews and even on podcasts. I get it. No one's perfect. I don't apologize for some of the things I said this year. I meant what I said. I'm going forward in 2025. I do these podcasts for you guys, for Spidey, for Heterosexual Guy, for Electric Dino, people that have been watching my channel for years. I've been doing live streams by myself since 2019, and I never quit. I do it for you. If I had some technical issues, it's because of my Wi-Fi. That's all. Gold. Can't be greedy though. In the first movie, they get the diamonds, but those are small, so they could fit in a book bag. But with gold, it's way heavier. Remember Die Hard with a Vengeance? It's a good sequel. I think it's a worthy sequel, and it's completely different from the first one. It's not copying the first one. There's no dinosaur in this one. There's a giant eel, electrical eel. Friday is 20th for Sonic Shock 3. Don't spoil it. Yes. Do not spoil Sonic in my in this chat. Don't spoil it on my Facebook. Don't spoil it on my Twitter. Don't spoil the movie, please. I'm seeing it next week on Christmas Eve, so do not spoil that movie. If this was made this year, then it would have been a downbeat ending, or it would have been 2.5 hours. We get the adventure part in about 90 minutes or an hour and 45 minutes. We don't need 2.5 hours. That's too long. See, there's some heart in the movie too, just like in the first one. There's no like funeral like they do in the first one because they wanted this to be lighter. They really jumped into the water. Well, it's a stunt double, but yeah. There's the scene from Aquaman. There's a shark, two sharks, but they're little sharks. Yeah. There's a jellyfish underwater. No, it's not a downbeat ending. It's not Rogue One, where by the time they get to the on the beach and they fight the stormtroopers, it's over. I'm like, that's it. Why would you make us? Would you waste our time with all these characters and then they die? It's a waste of time. There's the Nautilus. It looks like the Bongo from Phantom Menace, or that ship that Aquaman was in the first movie with Mira. Even though you could have cast a better Mira, someone who can act that's not abusive. Because if people are looking for realism, and like they're not going to find realism in a fantasy adventure film, you're just not. Watch a documentary. That's realistic. There it is. The electrical eel. Mm-hmm. There's the eel. It comes about an hour in, an hour and 11 minutes. Oh. A glow stick, just like the first movie, except this one's green, not orange. You have to have a few references to the first film, but at least here's a giant eel, not a dinosaur. Or plesiosaurs, like in the first movie. Yeah, The Rock has a book bag full of stuff that he needed. Well, he came prepared, you know? You always got to be prepared for action. Torpedoes. Yep, there it is. There is a spider here. But it's not on screen very long. I don't get why some people today like to spoil movies or TV shows on the internet for people who haven't seen it. Yeah, that's a crime. People should get banned from social media for doing that. I'm avoiding Wikipedia for the next 4 or 5 days. Let's see. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, 6 days. I don't want to know what the post-credit scene is. Do not spoil it. Please. It needs more power. I never spoiled Endgame. When it came out, I did a spoiler-free review back in 2019. I had to avoid it. Same thing. Mm-hmm. Eel. Again, this movie already went crazy when they survived a hurricane and didn't die. So I'm willing to suspend my disbelief at this point. And unlike Avatar, the movie's almost over. This was Way of Water. This will be the first act of the movie. 75 minutes will be the first act, not the second or the third. The first. Time is of the essence, James Cameron. Stop making your movies 4 hours long. You're not Peter Jackson, or Scorsese, or Francis Ford Coppola, or Tarantino, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because his real father died. I believe him. Yeah, The Rock is really charismatic in this movie. Sometimes you gotta leave your ego at the door and do what's best for the production. Whether it's a movie, a TV series, or a stream show, or a short, or whatever. Keep your ego at the door. I do that every time I do one of these podcasts. I do it for you guys. If not, it's just me talking to a camera for with no one around. I acknowledge you guys a lot. Yeah, it's a volcano just like in the first one, but again, the island's sinking in this one. Hmm. Yeah. If they do the one in the moon, it could be a space adventure like, Star Wars or Guardians of the Galaxy or even 2001 A Space Odyssey. Just less shorter. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a 90-minute movie, and sometimes I'm in the mood for a 2-hour movie, but not today. Yeah, this electrical ear looks like the one from. It looks way better than the ones in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, where like, wow, that's how Electro gets his powers. A bunch of electrical eels eat him. That's dumb. It really is. Here they're using it as part of the plot so that they can get the electricity to start up the Nautilus. There it is. Spear. Mmm. Yep. Yep. Unleash your power. There it is. Power on. Again, it's got a similar avatar. No! But again, it's short, guys. If this movie was 2.5 hours, I would have been bored out of my gourd if they got off the island like 2 hours in. Sometimes a good pacing is all you need. Brad Payton knows that. He's never made a movie that was 3 hours. Not even Rampage and San Andreas. They're longer than this movie, but they have a good pacing to it mostly. That's the kind of directors I like. Directors that know their audience and they're not going to overstay their welcome. Yeah, they have to go through the trench. It's like Star Wars. Yeah, and I'm glad they used an eel because in Star Wars it was kind of like an eel in the Phantom Menace, and then you had that the anglerfish, and then you had that giant whatever that was. I was like, wow, it looked like a dinosaur. Those effects still look great to me. I know a lot of people say they look terrible. I'm like, guys, that movie came out 25 years ago, and they did those effects. Those were revolutionary at the time before Avatar came out. Yeah, because George Lucas gets ILM to do the effects, so that they're not going to look bad. It's fun. This is a fun movie. I would recommend it. If you've never seen it, it's on streaming. You can watch it somewhere on streaming. I'm seeing the DVD because, I wanted to see it because I don't have the Blu-ray. I'll eventually get it on Blu-ray and then I could donate this because I'll have the movie, in a format that has special features. There's no special features on this. Go up. It's just like in Attack of the Clones when they're shooting when Obi-Wan's getting chased by Jango Fett, and it uses those brrr sound. Gee, I like these characters. And that music is really good. Who did the score for this? It's a mesmerizing score. Andrew Lockington. He did the music. He did a good job because there's a sense of whimsy without being overly, indulgent. Disney just can't do movies like that anymore, especially with all the CG that they throw in our faces. Hmm. Even Michael Caine in this movie, even though he shows up later in the film, he's still a fun character. It's a fun movie. I had fun watching this in the theater. 6 months later, so it was a half a year later. So they could say with the passing of time. And it's believable. They're not going to say 6 years later and they look exactly the same. It was the fall, because I see fall leaves on top of that house. There's Vanessa. Wearing pants. He got... He's a good actor, though. I'll give Lucas Gunn. He's funny. He said he used the Nautilus as a tour boat. That's cool. And he's successful. It's good to see somebody of color be successful. He does look wonderful. It's good to see people smiling and having a good time and not like, oh no, this is gonna hurt me. Yeah, rest in peace, Grandpa. I miss you both. Both of them. My dad's gonna be a grandpa next year in a few months. I hope he's a good, fun grandpa that, you know, I'll applaud for you, Michael Caine. I'll applaud you, man. You were a great actor. I miss you on screen. He makes me smile. Even when he's a villain, I like him. He's just such a good actor. The moon, space, the final frontier. Well, The Rock has been in space. I definitely am. It's in space, Rock. There's no air up there or people. It's a fun movie. That was Journey to the Mysterious Island from 2012. Oh, we're going to the moon one day, even if Josh Hutcherson is like 40 when the next time. And that was the movie. That was fun. Thanks, Brad Payton. This was a fun movie. And there's no post-credit scene, so just the end credits. So Brian Gunn and Mark Gunn, no relation to James Gunn, because if he wrote this, it would be a completely different script. So Thanks for watching, guys. Acknowledge me, and I will keep you updated on my, after my surgery. I'll be on Facebook because I could talk on Facebook through Messenger and such. So thanks for watching all my podcasts throughout this year. I'm hoping to do another one next week when I feel better, and I'll keep you guys posted. And keep your subscribing and liking my videos. It means a lot to me. It's been a rough year, but you guys are worth it. All of you guys. Anybody that watches me that's not a troll, you're all my audience, and I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. Thanks for watching my stuff. Peace. I'll see you after I get surgery. Bye.